What up? GrimDarkXander here, back with another replay. This is part 2 in the Daily Dose, and today we have a Vampire Counts versus Dark Elves battle. Me leading the live Vampire Counts. I will be using Manfred as my lord, and like a noob, I forgot to take off all of his Lore of Vampire spells, so he's got actually every single one of those. But as for the Lore of Death, he's got Spirit Leech, Fated Being, or Purple Son of Zerus, and Soul Blight, along with his Master of the Black Arts to increase his Winds of Magic. Apart from that, in the Hero Core, I've got my White King here with Scab's Wraith, obviously, Heroic Killing Blow, and Foe Seeker. As for my army, I've got I've got the Sternsman, actually, along with another Graveguard, just normal Graveguard sword and board. Got Graveguard Great Weapon in the back, 2 of those guys, 5 zombies in the front line, as well as 2 corpse carts, unholy lodestones, just for that little bit of extra healing that can go a long way in games like this, long grindy fights. I got 3 Fellbats up in the skies, and Vanguard deployed. I've got 2 Direwolves in the back, just to chase off any routing units and or run some rear charges. As for my opponent here, he's been led by Malice Darkblade himself. Ooh. He's got Zarkan, obviously, Demon's Curse, and the Blood Price. And this guy, when he turns into Zarkan, he just wrecks people. Although he does lose health over time, if you pop it at the right time, you can really get some work done with him before he goes down. To his left, we've got a Manticore Summoner with Flock of Doom and the Manticore Summons. Sorceress of Fire with Burning Head and Fireball. Excellent choice against the Vampire Counts. Firecasters are always very, very good. They usually generate their value back if you can land those spells. He's got 1 Sisters of Slaughter, 2 Witch Elves, and a front line of what looks like 4 Dread Spears, a Reaper Bolt Thrower in the back just to get some range pressure on me, a Manticore up in the sky, a Cold One Knight, and Vanguard deployed. He's got Dark Riders and another Cold One Dread Knight. Alright, so with that, let's get this battle started. So I sent him my Fellbats, as I could not see all of this stuff here. I just wanted to know what was going on, and they're cheap, they're flying, they're fast. I figured just send them in, see what's going on. And I was kind of surprised here when there was no range pressure, no archers, no nothing. So I was like, oh my god, YOLO, send these bats in. And to muck up that Reaper Bolt Thrower, because that, sitting on Graveguard Great Weapons or any of my more expensive units, could really pack a punch on them. So smartly, he pulls Malice Darkblade in here to help out, but those guys are just generating value right now. Like, look at that. They're shutting down the Reaper Bolt Thrower, they're occupying Malice Darkblade, who has been Spirit Leashed as well by Manfred. In response, he's going to send his Feral Manticore over to attack Manfred, but I'm okay with that. Manfred's a pretty good duelist as well as a good caster. It would have been better if he sent both his Manticores in at the same time, but one by one with the Fellbat support eating some of that damage, Manfred von Karstad is going to be actually completely fine here. Look at that. Fellbats routing the Reaper Bolt Throwers, even with the help of Malice. He could not stabilize them. My Infantry Corps slowly moving up here, and he's just bracing. Scab's Wraith going down in the front, doing some great damage versus these Dread Spears. Even though they're not going to be the biggest of problems, it's just nice to get rid of some of that chaff. Zombies getting charged by some Cold One Knights, getting some value there. Up in the sky, I've got my Direwolves, or sorry, on the ground I've got my Direwolves coming over in. Trying to pull him behind, see what I can do with them. Just try and overwhelm him with what I have. Because I went very, very wide with my build, whereas he went not too elite, but fairly elite with his main hitting punching power here and the Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter. Like, those 3 units are going to be doing pretty much all the work for him, along with his Hero Core and Malice. Alright, my White King's now into these Dread Spears. He sends Malice in. That's a losing fight for me. But as you can see, his health has been going down. I've just been constantly Spirit Leashing him. That's one thing that could really ruin me. If I got into a bad situation with Manfred, and he popped Zarkan and just started wailing on me, he would just drop kick me into another dimension. He's coming in for a rear charge here on the front line with these Great Weapons that are going to take pounding there. Absolute pounding. And now the real fight's going to begin. He's going to be sending in his Witch Elves, try and hold back where he thinks the line's starting to break. That's a very good move. Here, my White King gets a little bit gung-ho. He's in a fight with Malice, surrounded by Dread Spears. He is on foot, so it's not going to be the worst fight. But fighting Malice and like he's just gonna get handled. There's no way he's gonna be able to win that. Even with Heroic Killing Blow and Foe Seeker, he will do a little bit of pecking damage, but to win that, there's no way. So he gets an invocation just to keep him up. I'm gonna bring Manfred in here, try and help him out, get him out of there alive, as he does still have, I believe, 2 Scab Scrates left, and that's value that I don't want to leave. So Zarkan gets, or not Zarkan, sorry, Malice gets punted into the trees here, and this actually is bad. That attack by the dragon really, really isolated him. I've got to send in these Fellbats to help him. So the rest of my stuff, over I can look at the battlefield. Fellbat's just chasing off some routing units. In here, he's rear charged with some Cold One Knights. He's also got those Witch Elves in here, so everything's pretty much going berserk. But in a long, grindy fight with that Lodestone, I think I'm going to win that. It's so dangerous, and look at this. Manfred just getting pounded by the Sorceress. Malice, who's changed into Zarkan. See, that's what I mean. As soon you got to be real careful. As soon as he changes into Zarkan, he packs a walloping. Look at that, 460 armor piercing, 96 melee attack buffed is huge. He's landing every single hit, and over time that will add up. But luckily, able to get away with Manfred up in the sky and his little pet dragon, which is nice. I'm going to be launching a nice breath attack here into the back of the Sisters of Slaughter, generating some more value. And here, this only unholy Lodestone, just generating value. Like, if I was him, I would have got these Cold One Dread Knights. I had one back here, actually, originally, too, to just knock those out. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot. They're a very cheap unit, 500 gold, but they do generate so much value with that healing, that constant healing aura around them is massive. How much healing is it? Let's check. 2 hit points per second, but that's on everything around it. So Zarkan here, slowly bleeding out, just bleeding out the ground. I'm just trying to tar pit him with some Fellbats, as he will be taking a little bit of pecking damage from them. I do land Manfred again, and Zarkan beelines it for him. Luckily, that time, that dragon attack took me out of this blob, and far off into the sunset I will fly. Here, actually, Vampire counts, my front line's actually getting worn down by the Sisters of Slaughter and the Witch Elves, but they've done exactly what I wanted them to do, which is just sit there and hold everything while I do most of the work with Manfred and my backline pressure. Routed the Sorceress of Beasts, going to be chasing her off with Fellbats. We've broken some Witch Elves, broken some Cold Ones. They're getting chased down by Hounds. If you haven't been already, I suggest always bring in at least a couple little fast-moving units as the Vampire counts to finish off units. Like, I'm actually 1, 2, 3, like chasing 3 routing units, making sure she can't come back, get another Manticore summon and or Flock of Doom, because Vampire counts inherently just like to blob. So as Vampire counts, you want to stop anything like that Flock of Doom, Burning Heads, anything like that from coming back into the battlefield. That could really turn the tides of battle. And Zarkan going down now, get beaten on by the White King. He's at too low health to do anything. He still is a powerhouse, but due to the fact that he's just so low now, he's taken way too long to get into any good fights. I haven't been giving him the opportunity. Zarkan goes down, and with that, looks like everything else is going to be breaking whatever's left. Sorcerers of Fire gone, Sisters of Slaughter gone, everything gone. And with that, that's the fight. Was a pretty good one. I did enjoy that battle quite a bit. Look at that, Manfred with that constant Spirit Leeches, those breath attacks in the back, the rear charges, sorry, and the back charges. Getting 3,000 gold value, so he did his job. He's a great caster, okay duelist, and flying up in the sky, he's got great mobility. This Viking, 2,000 gold value, that's really good. He was able to stick in there with a couple heals, support from Manfred, and the healing aura from the corpse cards. He was able to do it. Zombies did their job. They were actually quite chevroned up. I had some extra money, so I figured, hey, I'll just throw it on them. Why not? What's scarier than crappy zombies? Leveled up zombies. Graveguard, they did their job very admirably. 66, 50, like, that's okay. You have to remember that they were fighting spearmen and, like, unarmored Witch Elves for most of that fight, so that's really not that great. 824, 828, they paid roughly for themselves. These guys did not at all, but they paid roughly for themselves, so that's all I needed. These direwolves, massive value on them, even though it only shows about 425 value from there. Like, just chasing that stuff off. These Fellbats that died, they shut down this Reaper Bolt Thrower completely. Look at that, 95 So nothing. These guys 10 and 3, but they were healing for the whole battle, so that's alright. Malice Darkblade, 786. He was not able to use him effectively. On foot, you've got to be very, very, very careful. Like, if they have any sort of mobility on their lords, like, as soon as he popped that Zarkan, I was gone. There's no way I'm going to take any fights with that. So you've got to be very careful about his placement. And he just didn't place him well. Here we've got these guys. Generate some good value. I believe this was the Firecaster, right? Yeah, Firecaster. Good burning head. But other than that, not too much done. 4 Spearmen. Got trounced in the front line. And then here, oh my lord. All of those were most zombies, so you can see that the value is not that great. Here we got Sister Slaughter. Not doing alright. Yeah, most of the value here on the Dread Knights and the, what is that? Cold One Knights. Manticore doing basically nothing. The other Manticore summon did also basically nothing. So, with that, that is it. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you want. And I will be posting down in the comments my email so you can send me your replays. And I'd love to cast them. Love to show you on the internet. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow. See ya!